Oh, that would be because the microphone was off this whole time.
So sad. Good thing I was interpreting it, but if you're like new, you probably didn't get it. Oh no. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so...
And this is our test, everyone. How much did you understand from my interpreting? I'm just curious.
Right? It was a test all along. That was the plan.
It was a plan. Okay. Let's go back to the very beginning.
Okay, so you can hear us clearly, hopefully.
Can you guys hear us now? Now
there
I really have to rely on my ASL skills.
Hey, this is going to be a fun one. Let's get this one real quick. Paxton Hawker was asking, what is your favorite Disney princess movie? We'll hold off on that for just a second. If you wanted to know what we just said the past minute or so, we were basically saying hello. Tonight we're going to be going over 3 tips that can help you become fluent in ASL faster. And we'll be going over some wildlife signs. So every 10 minutes, we're going to show you one sign of a wildlife animal. And if you're the first person to guess correctly what that sign is, then you'll win free access to our next workshop, which will be held on the last Friday of this month. So if you have any questions at all for us, feel free to go ahead and leave them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as possible this evening. And good to see that the sound is working. Really appreciate all of your feedback. We just got home from work, and so for one reason or another, our cameras were not working. The webcam wasn't working. The phone wasn't working. And so I had to do a really quick workaround to get that fixed. And so I apologize for no audio for the first minute, but that's what happens when you're too busy and we go live. So anyways, back to that first question, favorite Disney princess movie, babe?
Wait, Disney princess movie, right? Or just favorite Disney princess?
I believe it was favorite Disney princess movie. Yep. Go.
Well, that's hard for me. Favorite Disney princess movie. The first one that went boink to my mind was Brave.
Oh, I did it. Oh. It's gonna be one of those nights.
I think I would have to say that would be my favorite Disney princess movie would be Brave.
You want to do Disney?
It's I know there's Disney, Disney princess movie. I think Brave was funny to me. I'm trying to think of like all the Disney princess movies. Well, there it is. I think it was the first one. You said favorite Disney princess. I'm like, oh, Brave. Oh wait. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Merida from Brave. We're frozen. No. That was a horrible face. Anyways. Okay.
That's one of the bad things about interpreting is if you're doing interpreting virtually and you're on camera and it freezes, very oftentimes it catches you on your worst facial expression. Yuri Park is asking, any good ASL apps for Android? Usually my first recommendation is called the ASL app. It's run by, it's all deaf. And so they're the ones that are teaching the language. And it's an app that they developed, and it's one that they distribute. And so I believe it's available both on iOS and Android. And there are a host of ASL apps out there. A lot of them tend to be more dictionary-based, which can be really helpful to have on your phone if you need to pull up a sign on a moment's notice. When we first started interpreting, we had a few apps, and we would kind of go through, if we're interpreting for like a biology class, we'd be going over there and scrolling and trying to acquire as many signs for that class as possible. What's that ASL app again? So it's called the ASL app. Let me go ahead and type it in the comments here. So it's called the ASL app. And I believe that you can even find it on the web. Yep, you're welcome. And let's see here. What's the difference between signing understand and recently?
So understand is more towards your temple, and it flicks, boink, understand, flicks up. And recently is done by the side of your mouth, your cheek, and it's an X, and it scratches recently. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Mulan. I like Mulan too.
I'm curious.
I like the other
They
one.
just came out with another movie.
Really?
Raya the Last Dragon or something like that.
Raya the Last Dragon. That's cool.
It's their newest computer animated
Never seen
Disney princess movie. But apparently it's pretty good. Okay, so I was actually going to try to get to my tips as far as how to acquire a new language more quickly. And so one of the biggest things that can really hold us back is being afraid of having conversations and kind of demanding perfection from ourselves. And so one of the biggest things that can really help, especially if you're in the earlier stages of learning a new language, is really focus on the big picture. So if you're having a conversation, and this is, with another person, and you're having another conversation, a lot of times what might happen is we're following along okay, and then maybe once a person fingerspells something or they sign a sign that you just don't quite understand, and it throws you back. And so this would happen to me all the time. I would focus on that one sign that I didn't quite understand, and the whole conversation would be left without me. Yeah.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey.
Everybody knows who you are, Dad. You're famous.
Dad's here.
When you pop up, I'm here. Everybody knows Dad's here.
So anyways, if you come across a sign or a fingerspelled word and you tend to just really lock onto that one thing that you don't understand, and you just kind of shut down, right? And so one of the things that we really have to be careful about is not getting stuck on just one sign, and try to focus on the big picture. Context is actually going to be really, really helpful for that. So just keep in mind, what is the general context of the conversation? And then many times, even if we only understand maybe 70 or 80% of what that person is signing to us or saying to us, we'll be able to fill in the blanks and figure it out through context. And this can really be helpful in fingerspelling. We've used the example of before, if somebody's saying what state they're from, and they start with the letter U, you don't even need to know the rest of the letters for that. There's only one state that starts with the letter U, Utah. If that starts with a C, there's only 3 states that start with the letter C. So it's either going to be California or Colorado or Connecticut. So knowing the context is going to be really.
Is there only 3? I had to go Connecticut, Colorado, California. Yep, there's only 3.
Mississippi.
Mississippi. No. I was like, Canada. Wait, no, that's not a state. Anyways,
Go ahead.
Well, no, there was a question. Will you guys make a video on different signs for food and drinks?
Yeah, we haven't made one yet. I did make. I take that back.
You made one?
I made one a year and a half ago as part of the 100 Basic Signs series. And it was part 2 in that series. And it goes through food and drinks. And so I think I included milk and eat and drink, eggs.
Yeah, pizza, potatoes.
Yeah, so there were 25 signs in there. And then a couple bonus ones, like I think Starbucks and McDonald's I included in there.
Hi. Peaches, strawberries, cherries, bananas, oranges, carrots. Sorry. There's all kinds of foods we could do right now.
Sassy Stephanie was saying the Zoom was mine and the kids' first, and they loved it. We were nervous, but had so much fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
That's
I know
awesome.
It can always be like nerve-wracking. You're like, I don't know you, and I'm going to come practice with you, and it's kind of scary. But that's good. I'm glad you guys got out of your comfort zone and were able to do it. That's awesome. That's super cool. There was another question too.
This is a really quick one. Bernard McPherson is asking, what's the difference in size between white and light?
Okay, so white is all of your fingers, and they point white.
Here you go.
And light is your thumb. Okay, your thumb and your middle finger. Like. So white and like.
Yep. Johnny's counting. Cindy Thompson is asking, can you do a video on idioms? Definitely for the future, but in the meantime, what is the name of that one person? He's an interpreter and he does idioms. Oh, you know what? Another one. Oh boy.
Hold on, I can tell you right now.
What was the name of that deaf comedian?
Trix. Oh, Trix Bruce.
Trix Bruce. Let me look up her name really quick. She has incredible workshops and she does nothing but idioms.
Chad.
Okay, so we'll do Chad first.
Shoemaker, Shumaker. Chad Shoemaker on YouTube. He does one about ASL idioms, and then Trixie, or is it
Trix Bruce? Yeah,
yeah, I was right. Trix Bruce. If you Google her, she has one on idioms as well. My company did like a whole workshop thing on a lot of her stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, she's an incredible resource, and she's been teaching this for like 15, 20 years, and she has
long time.
But I think the workshop that we did was from, I think, 20 years ago.
It was from.
But she has a YouTube channel, and she still will do, the different signs for various semantic meanings of the same English words, or just idioms and phrases as well.
That's right, Jerry. Kansas sounds like a C.
Good. Yeah. Kansas with a C.
Let's see. I thought I saw some.
Okay, so this is a really good one. For numbers 1 through 5, should your palm face you or the other person, or it doesn't matter? So the short answer is in isolation. If, like, for example, if you're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, palm is facing towards you. Or like, hey, you brothers and sisters, how many? Oh, you have 3. Right? So like that number is by itself. But if you're having like a string of numbers, then typically you would have your palm facing out, so or like, for example, like 1,000, right? And so
pi, like 3.14.
Yeah, that. You wouldn't do
everything else.
You wouldn't do 3.14.
Out.
It'd just be 3.14.
Like math equations.
5.9.
Look at me like I know.
2.65. 3.65.
Like math equations too would be done with palm out. I can get it. That's a whole other like.
Yeah.
We did a workshop on numbers. Jerry remembers. But we did a workshop on numbers and stuff, and we kind of go into detail about those, and the different like numbers when it comes to time, when it comes to money, when it comes to math, and things like that.
Yeah, and then the second part of that question is does it matter? Usually, like if you're teaching it, it matters. But if you slip up in a conversation and you accidentally have your palm facing out, it's not going to break the conversation. We do this in English all the time. There are rules, and we don't follow them at all. But just to kind of, well, it's language.
Somebody asked, how did I sign idiom? Okay, so idiom, I boink quotes idiom. Idioms.
I saw your video interview with Connie. Connie Williams. She became an interpreter in 3 years. Yeah, and so you're probably looking at bare minimum 2 years of really. I mean, it's tough. So because first you have to really get a good grasp on the language, and then you secondly have to get a really good grasp on the interpreting process, and those are 2 very separate skills. Go ahead.
A lot of times what happens is when people first start learning sign language, they think, I know sign language so I can be an interpreter. And I've had a few people approach me about that. And they're like, well, I know sign language, so that means I can interpret. And I'm like, not necessarily, because it's a different skill and it's a different way your brain processes information. I always give the example, just because I can drive a car does not make me a mechanic. So just because I can sign does not mean I can professionally do this. This is a completely different thing. Interpreting is completely different. How you do it, how you process information. It's one of those. I can go for an hour deep into that. So it's kind of something to think about. I know a lot of people are like, that's their goal, is to be an interpreter. And if you study that and that's what you're wanting to do, it's fine. But a lot of times people are like, oh, I know what I want to do it. And like they struggle, like, why am I not getting it? Because I know some people who are fluent signers, but they cannot interpret. And they're like, why can't I do this? And I just tell them it's because your brain has to process that information differently and very quickly. And you have to just be boom, 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 boom. It's one of those things. How do you sign from and percent? Okay, so from, ooh, here we go. And it pulls back like into an X. From and percent, you do a flat O and you literally draw the percent sign. It's just floop, percent.
That's funny. I do it differently. Because I draw my percents a little.
You do what now? You draw a Z?
Yeah.
Why do you draw a Z?
0/0.
There's more than one way to do it. See? You see what happened? I was like,
my God,
why would you do that? And I'm like, why would you do that? See, and I told you guys there's more than one way to do things. You just caught me in the act of being like, about it being different.
So we're at the 18-minute mark already.
Oh man!
So time is really getting away from us. So let me go ahead and pull up what our first sign is going to be.
Ooh, can I do it?
Really quick, should we finger spell it or should we sign it?
No, sign it.
Sign
Don't finger spell it.
Okay.
Because for some who are like really new, that's like hard. Especially some of these might be like, what was that? Okay, so I'm gonna.
Hi from Ohio.
Hey. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and sign it. I'm gonna give you guys a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and sign it. Type your answer in the chat, and it's an animal. Wild animal. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Okay, so if you understood that sign, go ahead and type that animal in the comments.
Now.
And the first one that we see, and sometimes just because it's the internet, the order in which they pop up may differ depending on the user. So we're going to pick the first one that we see on our end, which is Eliza.
Eliza was the first person on my end
that was close.
To get it. So bear. So
Oops. I'm just going down the list of everybody that got it
so
correctly.
Eliza, I'm gonna go ahead and Chris is gonna throw up his email in a minute. He'll do it.
Working on it. It's right there.
So go ahead and send him an email and let him know that you won the giveaway for the live stream, and then he can send you the link and set you up with all of that.
Some of these were pretty close. I'm not going to do that one because we're actually going to do that animal later. But somebody was saying monkey.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty close. Bear is up here on the chest. Monkey is on the sides. And some people will kind of go back and forth. And eagle.
Oh,
and so eagle. So, yeah, eagle. And then hawk with the three.
Yep.
Okay, so Toots Magoots is asking to sign a specific animal, but I'm not going to yet because that animal is on our list of 5 signs that we're going to be doing tonight.
Don't tell people. Everybody can see that comment. Well, it's out there now.
Yeah,
now
1 in 4 chance.
One of them.
Okay, and because we're at the 20-minute mark, let's just go ahead and do the second animal.
Okay.
And then we'll go over our second tip.
Okay, ready? So the second animal, here you guys go. Ready? Ready? Here we go. I'm going to do it. Okay, ready? Here we go. Here we go. It's going to lightning. Bam! No, it's quick.
And just really quick, so this can be for deer for the antlers, for like really big antlers, but it can also just be right here on the top of the head. So you could have deer, or you could have deer with really big antlers.
To be fair, it's also
It
the
could be.
sign for
Mhm.
moose. Moose is a lot bigger because, you know, moose are like, have you ever seen a moose in person? Like a live moose? I've never seen a live moose.
I hear they're gigantic.
But like, yeah, so deer, moose.
Okay, and then really quick, someone was guessing rabbit. So rabbit can be down here, or the bunny ears can be up here.
Oh yeah, okay, we scroll back up from the person who got it correct, the very first one.
The very first person,
Was Cindy.
Cindy Thompson.
Mhm.
Okay, and same deal. Just go ahead and send me an email at that email address, letting me know that you won, and then I'll go ahead and give you all the information on how to join our next workshop for free.
I signed awesome, and I went whack, and I hit him. That's the bad part when it comes to signs. Sometimes you
Be very physical.
Someone says they're
Bernard said
huge
he
and
saw
very
a
mean.
mess.
My dad said that they're mean. Like they'll kick you.
They will attack your car.
Oh man, don't attack my truck. I'd be sad.
I get upset when like a dog scratches the side of my car. Can you imagine like a moose just like walking over your head?
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into our second tip for tonight. So the first one was just try to relax a little bit and try to focus on the big picture. And if one sign has you stumped, you know, don't let that make you freeze and really focus on that one. If it really bothers you, you know, feel free to kind of slow down the conversation and ask. There's nothing wrong with asking and confirming what that sign is.
I was reading Mike's comment. He asked if there was a sign for tarantula because he has 3.
Gross.
Okay,
so tarantula specifically, I believe it's you would sign spider and then you would finger spell tarantula for
to be specific.
To be more specific.
Or you could just sign big spider. Big hairy spider. Ah!
Okay. So the second one is actually going to be
butterfly. Somebody asked, how do you sign butterfly? Butterfly. Boop, 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 boop. Actually, there's a really cool way to do butterfly. If you want to like go through like the whole, you know, thing with the worm or the
cocoon, the chrysalis.
Yeah, it hangs there and then it does this and then it slowly breaks it up and then it flies away. Yeah, there's like a whole like storytelling with it you could do. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, so the second one is actually going. Actually, the next 2 tips are going to kind of hang on this. I'm going to refer to a book that I really enjoyed. And so the book itself is called The Immersion Method. And it's one of the things that this person was talking about was how they made language learning really difficult for themselves. And one of the things that really helped them get out of a rut was increasing the exposure that they had in the language itself. And so one of the things that we can really do to ourselves is, make it too rigid, to, you know, put together like this lesson plan, or I'm going to learn. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was trying to figure out. Well, I was trying to figure out where you were going. When you said too rigid, I didn't want to like interpret the wrong way. So I was just going to like wait for his point. But yeah, if you like set up like lesson plans, like strict and time,
and
Lord.
So basically, in a nutshell, I don't want to drag this on too much, but in a nutshell, you basically want to really be intaking as much of the language as possible, in an enjoyable way. And so a lot of times we might learn a language in a box. You know, we might just learn, you know, these 5 or these 10 or these 15 signs that are related to this one topic. And that can be really good as far as like, okay, this is lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. But we also want to make sure that we are exposing ourselves to the natural language. We want to be able to learn from different sources. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to touch on too is that a lot of times, and this can be one of the most frustrating things about learning a new language, is that there's oftentimes many ways to say the same thing. And you'll come across this a lot as far as, you know, how do you sign this specific word? And it's not necessarily an easy answer. Sometimes it really depends on the context. Let's just use the English word fly, for example. There are several ways to sign the word fly, depending on the context. Is it a bird flying? Is it a plane flying? Is your fly down? Or is that car just flying past you? And so there are a lot of different contexts, and you probably noticed all the different signs that Johnny was using to describe the various semantic meanings of that one word. But I don't say that to overwhelm you. I say that, become familiar with it, and you can put those in the bank, so to speak. And same thing with variations. They may not be semantic variations. They just might be 2 or 3 different ways of signing it, depending on your area. And one example we use a lot is pizza. In Central California, for some reason, everybody signs pizza like this. The rest of the world signs it like this.
Or with an A.
Or pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's not necessarily a semantic difference, that they mean the same thing, but it's a regional thing. And so, we don't have to overwhelm ourselves and have to keep track of every single semantic meaning and every kind of variation. Because if we get overwhelmed, guess what's going to happen? We're just going to give up, right? So definitely expose yourself to as much as the language as possible, and find content that you enjoy. And if you come across new vocabulary, and just put it in the bank. You don't have to put it on a flashcard and memorize every single sign and memorize every single meaning. Just pay attention and put it in the bank.
All right, I want to do the next one.
Okay.
So the next word, the next sign, you guys ready? It's an animal. It's another animal. Here we go. Ready?
It's just kind of blow up.
I know. It's like so. There it is. Hold on, wait, go down. That one. Squidney.
Squidney. I think that's your second most favorite name.
Yeah. Toots Magoots and Squidney. Those are like 2 top favorite names that I see them pop up, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna highlight some more people that got that right off the bat.
Yeah, snake. Mm-hmm.
Your dad got it too.
Good job, Dad. Snake, and then you'll also see sometimes we've talked.
Speaking of Toots Magoots.
We've talked about classifiers, and so the sign for snake. Go ahead and throw your email up there. The sign for snake, but if you're using a classifier to describe this snake and it like a cobra and it just looks at you, you would actually have the shape, that classifier, that flat O would symbolize, or that snake's head moving back and forth, and you show that action of the animal moving. It's pretty cool. So, Squiddy, go ahead and send Chris an email letting him know that you won, and then he can get you set up for the workshop and everything. Rattlesnake. So I have seen some for rattlesnake.
Yeah, usually it's like snake and then
that little with the little. It's little.
And then cobra, it's usually like this, but you can also have like
I've seen cobra, like snake, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, the cobra."
Okay, so let's see here.
Somebody said something. Where is it? Somebody said something in on.
Yeah, if you had a question and we missed it, go ahead and repost it.
Wait.
Up here.
Stop. What was that saying?
This one?
Yes, that one.
So this one was about emotion. So why don't we use the alphabet when there are emotions to use? Why do we represent some signs in emotions and some are in using the alphabet?
I don't know what that means.
I'm imagining so emotions can be a deep topic because
they are a deep topic.
Usually there's a sign that goes along with a non-manual marker or an expression. And so usually you'll be signing the emotion as well as depicting the emotion simultaneously. Scared, you're going to look scared, right? Nervous, are you nervous? You nervous? Or are you just furious? or are you sad, right? So a lot of times you have these signs, but it's really important to depict and act out the emotion that you're trying to get across. Because really, when it comes to emotions, the facial expression is going to be 80% of the meaning, and the facial expression is going to be more important than the particular sign itself. And as far as like finger spelling, perhaps a very specific word. So, you know, you could have irritated and angry and furious. And some of them have, you know, specific signs like, oh, it's like really annoying, or I'm really irritated. Or just like mad or furious or angry. And so you have all these different English words to kind of cover one basic emotion, right? So you could, if you really wanted to be specific about what word is being used for that emotion. This happens in education all the time. Kids are expected to take notes verbatim, and you know, you might have to fingerspell furious over extremely angry or something like that. And so fingerspelling can be really good to really be specific on a particular vocabulary word.
How do you sign how would you like to pay? So you pay how? Or
you prefer
pay which? You prefer pay what's up? Okay, let me tell you, when it comes to certain signs, I'm old school, and I struggle with changing it. Pay, the English initialized sign right there with the P. That's how I originally learned it, and I'm stuck with that. And I try to do pay, but yeah, pay. He laughs at me. He's more ASL than I am. I am more English based. That's just kind of how we roll.
Which is funny because you would think that, you know, you'd want to be as ASL as possible. But in some regions, it might actually really be beneficial to have a blend between the two. This might, not everybody will probably agree with me on this, but like just for example, if you have a deaf student in a hearing school, kind of bridging that gap in a way, you'll notice, especially in our area, there's a lot of blend between English and ASL, and you know, there's a name for that. It's Pidgin Sign Language, and so in a lot of cases they'll use English initialized signs to really depict between one thing or another, because I don't know, like be, and this is really English, not to go to this extreme, but like to be, are, and so like. It can be hard to differentiate between B or R.
I was just gonna say he does B or R, and I do R, B, and those like that. So,
but
variations.
That's
a whole other topic. We're not gonna get into that.
I'm getting sidetracked, but basically, it can be really beneficial as far as like using English signs or English initialized signs, because signed exact English is a whole different bag of potato chips.
Somebody said, "What is the word for go home now?" So there are a few simple ways to do this. I would say you get out home. That's what I would say.
If you're being mean about it,
being like you out, go home. Or you could say you go home. Like if it's a question, you go home. Me, I'm like, go home.
Home, you go.
Yeah, home, you go. Yeah. I mean, there's like different ways to do it.
Go home.
Oh yeah, just go home. Go home. But yeah. Somebody asked how you sign thank you. So thank you, or it can be done with two hands. Thank you. Sorry is done with an S on your chest. Sorry.
Or an A. Okay, so really quick, you reading that one. So I'm going to go ahead and, where are we at? 35 minutes? Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and, before I get into the third point, or the third tip, let's just go ahead and do the fourth animal. So the fourth animal is going to be this sign. If you understand it, go ahead and type your answer in the comments. If you're the first one that we see on our end, we'll go ahead and give you free access to our next workshop the last Friday of this month. So the sign is... So if you understood that, let us know. And we'll go ahead and pick our winner. So what was it? Did you want to tackle this real quick?
Yeah, so I was told that the bag man, the guy who helps you with your groceries, was deaf. Well, I thought, yay, finally I get to talk with someone. Well, he was also handicapped and he had no clue what I was saying. And sometimes that does happen. A lot of times there are some who might be deaf, but they don't sign. They might depend solely on lip reading. It kind of just depends on how they were raised, what generation they are, and things like that. But it does happen. It's happened to me too. But don't give up. Don't let that discourage you. Keep trying. Not with him, but just in the community. Definitely keep trying. Okay, so the first person who got it. Hold on. Scroll down. No, down. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, the 2 people who got it have already won tonight. Oh no, that's not true. There we go. Okay. So.
Okay.
Bam.
Not exactly how to pronounce your name.
But you.
Brix.
You.
So go ahead and send me an email when you get a chance and let me know that you won tonight, and we'll go ahead and give you the access to our next workshop.
So I kind of want to talk about some of the signs that were there that somebody said. Somebody asked if it was fox. So fox is with an F on the nose. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said duck. Duck is duck.
Let's see. We had eagle again. So
yeah,
eagle with the X.
Bird.
Some animal related to a dog.
Some animal related to a dog.
Let's see here.
Oh, Brianna. Her name is Brianna.
Okay, Brianna.
Can you show the email again?
Yeah, sure. So, Brianna, go ahead and send me an email at this email address and let me know you won, and I'll go ahead and give you all the information for how to join our next workshop. Okay, and so let's go. I want to dive into this third tip because I think it's really important. So the reason why I wanted to touch on this is because, and I'm going to go back to this book over here, and this is about somebody that has really made language learning difficult for themselves. And so they're talking about hard work, right? And sometimes we tell ourselves, well, if I want to accomplish something, I just need to work harder. And, in reality, we need to work smarter, not harder sometimes, right? And so this is what he says in his book. He says that many decide to take on this challenge of language learning enthusiastically with hard work and ultra high determination. And I think all of us kind of start out that way, right? We're really motivated, we're really determined, we're really excited. But after a while, you might actually create routines for yourself that make the entire process really agonizing. So this is what he said. He said, I chose a life of study and learning, but it eventually developed into a painful and agonizing routine for the sake of more and more progress. And so one of the things that he personally did was that he incorporated a major component of the language learning process into creating these really difficult like flashcards for himself. And so they ended up being a ton of work, and they were effective to a point, but it got to the point where it was so difficult and so time consuming and unmotivating that he just lost all motivation to continue. And he actually ended up giving up on that language entirely and started from scratch with another one. And so one of the things that he encourages us to do is that you don't have to undergo 8-hour study routines. This is taken from the book, The Immersion Method. And so he says, you don't have to use medieval-like learning methods, as I did in the past. A solid 45 to 90 minutes of intensive reading and learning, followed by a habit of freely reading, listening to, and watching foreign material for pleasure is much easier to maintain in the long run. And so the thing that I wanted to touch on is that we need to create sustainable systems for ourselves. And so initially, we might be so excited and so determined. We set out these really high goals for ourselves. Like I'm gonna be fluent in like 3 months or 6 months by learning 100 signs a week, and that's really great goal. But we also want to be careful that we want to make not only goals that are achievable, but create systems that are sustainable. And so really think to yourself, in what ways can you make the process in of itself enjoyable? So if we can find enjoyment in maybe watching more content, or maybe watching more movies or TV shows, or maybe putting ourselves outside that comfort zone, so to speak, and join a group, or reach out into your local communities. With COVID still being a thing, maybe doing that online. And when things start opening up, start going to deaf events. And really, it doesn't have to just be one learning method, right? It doesn't only have to be flashcards. Flashcards can be great, but they can be really tedious and wear thin after a while. And so, find these sustainable systems that really work for you. What works for other people might not work for you. What works for you might not work for me. And so it's really important to just go ahead and experiment and keep trying and keep finding new and exciting ways to make language learning enjoyable.
It's better now. Okay, let's do the last word.
Okay, so the last one is...
Wait. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. If that doesn't give it away, I don't know what will.
Maybe this one.
Okay, creeped him out. Worth it. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this.
Okay.
Waiting.
Bam.
Oh, there it is.
Awesome.
Okay, so.
Okay, Melissa, I'm going to get to your question in a little bit.
Right there.
Okay, I think that was a typo, but you got it. Spider. Dionysus? Go ahead and let me know that you won by sending me an email to this email address, and we'll go ahead and give you all that you need in order to join our next workshop, which will be held the last Friday of this month, which, let me go ahead and check to see what date that is. March 26th, and it'll be at 5 o'clock Pacific time, which will be 8 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah, and creepy crawly. So yeah, a lot of you guys actually got it. Nightmares. Let me scroll back and see if I can find this one. So Melissa was asking, hey, have you ever had like a true brain fart during interpreting? How would you recover from it? ESP during large groups can have you ask the speaker to repeat. So let's tackle that. If you just, it goes over your head, or you just,
or like your brain's like, you know what, I'm just not going to sign that sign tonight. Yes, that has happened to me. It's happened to, I think, almost every interpreter that I've ever met, where you'll be go, 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 and all of a sudden your brain goes, nope, and just stops. Or you know the simplest sign, and it's just not there. After I came back to work, after I had my daughter, it was a huge struggle for me. It was like I spent like the first month back at work in one giant brain fart. Like I couldn't figure out like how to. Did you seriously just sign
that? Was that too literal?
Yes. Oh my God.
Some people sign it.
I know some people do, but it was weird. Okay. It was like, it was just so massive. Boom. And I'm like,
said one big
wow. Anyways, so it does happen. And there are times when I've had to stop and ask, do you mind saying that again? Can you expand? Just so I can catch myself back up. Nobody's perfect. We're not perfect as interpreters. It's just one of those things that, maybe we're having an off day. Maybe we're not feeling all that good. Maybe we didn't sleep last night, and your brain's just like, not today. So it does happen. But yeah, you can recover from it if you can just kind of like pull yourself together and bring it in. Or if you have to ask, I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? If the opportunity does present itself for you to do so. So yeah, it's one of those things we've all experienced. Hey, Chris, I'm the worst fan ever, but I did subscribe last week, and I'm kind of confused why I sent the email.
Oh, yeah. So if you are new, so we, through our VIP program, just as a thing of gratitude, we will meet with everybody that is a VIP member that has been able to support us and make everything that we do possible. And so every month we'll tackle a subject that everybody might be struggling with. Our most recent workshop last Friday was all about how you can improve your receptive skills. And we covered that point because it's a pain point for a lot of us that are maybe just beginning to learn sign language. And it can be a pain point for those that have been signing for years. So we'll be reaching out to everybody as far as what topic they would like to be covered for this coming month. And again, that workshop for all of the VIPs will be held on the last Friday of this month, which is March 26th on a Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it'll be held on Zoom. So we'll be able to chat face to face and see everybody. And we'll incorporate a group practice session in there. So we'll start off with like a lecture. We'll do a group practice session to maybe try out some of the strategies that we talk about. And then afterwards, we'll see how effective those strategies were and just get everybody's feedback and answer any questions that people might have. So hopefully that...
Everyone's like laughing at your brain fart. I'm dying. LOL. Believe me, we all understood that sign, Chris. The look on Johnny's face. Sign of the day. Brain fart. Oh, man. Oh, April missed it. She missed how to sign brain fart. Do it for her because that's your sign
Okay, so
now.
this is the sign for fart. You know, be mature about it. And so, you know, brain fart goes up here. And she said, when you have a big, giant, massive brain fart, and I just...
Don't blame me for your sign.
Don't blame the interpreter.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God, that was funny.
Okay. We're actually doing really good on time tonight.
We are doing really good on time. Huzzah. How about that? You know, we're not getting a lot of questions. We're not getting as many questions tonight as we did the week before.
Rest in peace.
How do you sign attendance? Like, can you take attendance?
So this is done a few different ways, and it depends on the student, the teacher, and the interpreter. One of the ways is just like name. We're going to check and see who's here. Attendance, like who showed up. So like pop. I think it just froze. So like attendance.
Oh man!
Ouch. Let me see if I can switch cameras.
What is that?
Or should I switch cameras?
I don't know, but that's being weird. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Sort of. We're getting kind of weird.
FYI, like we're using.
Well, there's a storm
phone.
coming in here too. Every time there's a storm that hits our area, our internet goes. So he lagged. We're lagging. I know. Oh no. Wait, we're back. We look a little better. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, let's see here. This is a question I get quite a bit as far as like what kind of resources would you recommend? I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link in the chat, but there's also links to a lot of these resources in the description area below. If you're on YouTube. But we have an entire article that is dedicated to just available resources. So they vary from online ASL dictionaries to YouTube channels, movies and TV shows, documentaries, games, books. So I'm going to leave the link right here. If you go to our website, it's actually, you can go to the top of the website. Let me go ahead and put that up here at aslbasics.com. And near the top, you'll see ASL resources, and you can go ahead and get access to that. But you can also use the link I dropped in the chat right here. It's aslbasics.com/free ASL resources. And as far as your question of movies, so actually our number one recommendation is like Switched at Birth. It's a TV show, but it incorporates a lot of it's getting late. Deaf actors and actresses, and they incorporate sign language, and they tackle various topics as far as
and like deaf culture. They talk about like hearing aid, like cochlear implants, why some deaf choose to get it, why some don't. Deaf culture, integrating like deaf students in a hearing school, interpreters. They talk about like there's things that happen in regards to work, like what kind of work can a deaf person do, and what accommodations have to be made for them. And it's a wonderful TV show. So yeah.
And one movie I actually watched pretty recently, and so many people were telling me that's what inspired them to start learning sign language, is called A Silent Voice, or The Silent Voice. It's on Netflix, and it's an anime, and it's about this deaf girl, and she ends up getting bullied, which is a really pertinent topic because that happens a lot in schools, particularly when you only have one deaf student in an entire school full of hearing kids. If you're fortunate, and actually I'm going to recommend you watch, there's a TED Talk by Niall DeMarco, and he goes into how he didn't realize how privileged he was because he went to a deaf school and he had deaf parents and he had a rich language from the get-go. But most cases, like 90 to 95% of deaf children are born to hearing parents. And so they don't really get that rich language from an early start. And so oftentimes they get to a school and they're put in a hearing school. And so now they're having to learn English and learning, in some cases, they're learning the voice and they're having to, learn through an interpreter. And that can be really difficult to keep up. But anyways, that movie, A Silent Voice, is really, it's interesting as far as why she gets bullied and kind of how the bully kind of turns a new leaf and realizes how cruel he was. But that is something that a lot of deaf children go through, and it can help you, I guess, better understand what they're going through and maybe why some of them are quite resentful towards others as well.
Wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. Somebody asked, okay, so the sign for more. I saw some great novels. Okay. Yeah. I'm like trying to go through everything. Oh, this one. What is the most common words or phrases? Yeah. To use in sign language. That's a very.
We did a series, 100 basic signs that you need to know. That could be
on high frequency words too.
Yeah, but I was actually going to add on to that too is Bill Vickers. He also has a series of 100 basic signs that you should start with, and so like that is a really good place to start. And if you go to lifeprint.com, that's Bill Vickers' website, and he has lesson plans, so you can go lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. But that is something that I do plan on doing more of on the channel, is covering high frequency language, because if you're just getting started, you really need to know the basics and the things that you're going to be using the most often. So that is going to be something that I plan on publishing more soon. Yeah. Please discuss Dolch words. I think we have just enough time to cover that. That's a kind of a big topic.
Oh man.
In education, so there are Dolch words. So you might be familiar with like high frequency words or even sight words, right? Your kids if you have kids in lower grades, they have to practice sight words, and those. Usually, there's words that you can't phonetically. It doesn't phonetically follow the rules, right? If you pronounce it phonetically, it wouldn't be the. And a lot of those words that they have to memorize on sight. But then you also have these high frequency words that, in like kindergarten or first grade, there are these rainbow words. Okay, well, you got to learn the blue words, the purple words, the orange words. But anyways, it's just these compilation of high frequency words. So anyways, and Fairview has a program where they have adapted Dolch words.
Fairview hand.
So yeah, adapted Dolch. And so these are kind of similar as far as the structure. So they have pre-primer, which is kindergarten level. They have primer, which is first grade, and then they have the following grades that go up above that. But basically, they're vary between like 80 to 100 words, and each word will cover various things. Like run is part of I think either the pre-primer or primer group.
It's primer.
And so you have the word run, but you also have run, and all the different various meanings of running. Yeah, nose running, water's running, and all of these different things. So yeah, it's definitely something I think you can actually download if you download adapted Dolch words, I think you can actually get printouts of those words, and then that can be a really good launching point for yourself and learn the high frequency language. And again, I'm going to go through some of those. And the video that I actually have, it's taken from the Fairview list. And in that video, I covered 10 words, but 24 signs. And so that includes all the multiple variations and all the different meanings for each word. And so definitely keep your eyes out. And I do plan on publishing some more of those in the very near future. Okay. Let's see here. Feeling Through, powerful short film with a deafblind actor. Marley Matlin from Switched at Birth is the executive producer.
I love her.
Yeah, she has a really rich filmography, Marley Matlin, and yeah, definitely check her out. Like, type her in Google and check out all the films that she is involved with, and that can be a really great way to increase that exposure that we were talking about earlier, right?
Somebody asked if we haven't answered already. Do either of us have a favorite movie that features ASL?
Like A Quiet Place kind of sticks out to me.
I wouldn't call that my favorite movie because it creeped me out.
I
But
mean,
A Quiet Place did utilize sign, and that was a very interesting movie. I haven't really watched a lot of movies that incorporated sign. I mean, I've watched
usually it's TV shows.
TV shows or documentaries. Like I've watched Through Deaf Eyes, Switched at Birth, the one that I can never remember the name of, the Helen Keller movie. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Oh.
There was another movie, and it was called, I've watched it once, and I've been meaning to watch it again. The Hammer.
Is it The Miracle Worker?
The Miracle Worker. Thank you. The Miracle Worker.
Mm-hmm.
The Hammer. That was a good one.
The Hammer? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
The Hammer. He's
this one?
He's a wrestler, and he's hard of hearing. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and if you have any movies that you yourself have watched and that you find kind of inspiring, or you'd like to share, feel free to let us know, and we'll definitely add it to our
Children of the
list.
Lesser God was one that was recommended.
Okay, so we're getting really close to the top of the hour, and let's see here.
I am starving. My stomach's like, rawr. I'm like, whoa.
I think I have the volume turned down. I'm just going to check to see
He's
if we
like
crossed 50.
Oh, no, I can't see 50 what?
50 likes.
Oh, 50 likes?
Usually we will give away our Skillshare class.
Oh, yeah. If we hit
34.
50 likes, we usually give away our Skillshare class.
It's kind of a fun little game.
So we've got a couple minutes left for that one. We'll see if it happens.
Okay, awesome. So let's just go ahead and we'll round off the Alex. Good to see you. Deaf student in our area. So you hungry? You want to go eat?
Go eat. I'm gonna go.
Okay. Can you think of anything you want to add before we leave? You have 3 seconds.
So I'm not gonna hold it at 3 seconds. Give me 5.
1 hour.
So I'm just trying to think. So we will have the workshop at the end of the month, the 26th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be doing a poll about what you guys would like us to, for those of you who are involved in the workshop, the VIPs, the Patreons, all of you who are involved in all the different sections of our thing, YouTube, what you would like the workshop to be about. Something that you're personally struggling with or that you would like help with. So the workshop thing is a VIP thing. The giveaway provides free access for those who win for the month. But yeah, the workshops are a VIP perk. It's also for those who are on Patreon or who are on the Beyond the Basics on his website, part of that. So there's a few ways to gain access to those workshops.
Yeah, there's definitely free ways to try it out. Like Beyond the Basics on our website is probably the easiest way to get on there, just because there's a 3-month free trial that I put up there. So if it's something that you want to check out, and you can go to 2 or 3 workshops and see if it's something that you like. And if not, you can cancel. You don't lose anything in the process. Let's go.
Right?
Where?
It's been forever. It's been forever.
Oh, yeah.
And the cool thing about signing up for those is that you not only get access to the workshops, but you also get access to the replays that we've been of the other workshops that we've had, for the last year. So you'll be able to access all the other workshops and watch the pre-recorded workshops that we've done in the past. So pretty cool. Would love to learn how to.
Oh, I was gonna tease the children's book, because I was thinking maybe for next week's live stream, we interpret our children's book.
Oh my! You see how he just drops that at me? He just throws it at me.
And maybe for the giveaway, we could give away a signed copy of it.
Oh, that's cool. So if you don't know, we published a children's book last year. I think it was. This book took 2 years to make. 2 years to make this book. But yeah, so we did that. And we published this children's book and stuff. We really enjoyed it.
Let me know if that's something that you might be interested in.
So if you're interested in that, let us know. Yes,
if not, we can discuss something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that'd be kind of cool, just to kind of see what that interpretation process looks like. And I've interpreted many years of kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade.
You haven't lived until you've interpreted Dr. Seuss.
Fox with Socks.
That is
a nightmare
you haven't
to interpret.
Lived until you've interpreted that
The Beatles
book.
and Bottling. And
oh my God. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Read it. I'm like, there's no way. But yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, you haven't lived until you've done that.
Yeah, looks like everybody's down for that idea.
Cool.
Day at the beach.
Pismo? Pismo.
Yeah, we actually before pre-COVID, we did a camping trip on the beach.
Yeah, we camped in Pismo.
It was cool to camp. A lot of sand, and it was really windy the time we went.
We did it in an RV, and so you can everybody has all their RVs on the sand, blah, 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 and then all the people who go out there on the dunes in Pismo and stuff. Not cool because people ride their quads and stuff at midnight, and I'm like, I can hear you in my RV. I'm like, go to bed. But yeah, so Pismo, super cool, love it. We're not that far away. So okay, we have hit our hour mark.
4 minutes ago.
4 minutes ago. So okay, so we will see you guys next week, Wednesday, at either 5 o'clock if you're going to be a part of our Zoom practice session, or 5:45 for the live stream. What?
Melissa, I propose in 2 weeks, Dr. Seuss of Fox and Socks.
No. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go read that book and imagine trying to have to interpret that into sign language.
I don't know.
That clip from the third row from the sun.
No. Hold on 1 second. Let me show this to you. If you guys can hear it. It's called the I was doing a high school chemistry class. I was interpreting, and I wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah, so sometimes, if it's music related, you'll get flagged.
Oh, really?
YouTube will flag
it. Shoot.
But actually, just go ahead and do the first line or so.
No, I can't.
Anemium, selenium, and
okay. So there's this guy. If you look him up, his name is. I'm going to type it in the chat because it's
basically sings through the periodic table of elements.
Sure, you can call it singing. And then the song is the Elements. And it's it looks like an older video. It's done in black and white. I want you to listen to that song.
There's a spider on our wall, by the way.
Say what now? Say what now? On my wall?
Live.
On my way. I want you to listen to that song and imagine you not being prepared because the teacher did it to you on purpose just to see if you would interpret the song. And I'm ready.
Literally, nope.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, because he's like, we're gonna listen to the song of the periodic table, and I'm like, oh god, okay, that's a lot of this.
The Animaniacs.
So I'm like, okay, that song starts, and I go, huh? And I look at my student and went, nope. I said, look at your paper. It's that, and it was the periodic table. That he's singing that.
Yeah, I wonder. I think he's saying the Animaniacs. I know they did the country song.
Yeah, they did the country
and they did
the capital, the state capital.
Yeah, the state capitals. But I can't remember if they did the periodic table of elements or not.
Yeah, it's so like, watch that and imagine having to interpret it. Oh dear Lord.
Alex, he likes
and the teacher laughed so hard. He was like, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I was curious. What is she going to do? I'm like, she's not going to do anything. I'm like, because she can't do that. It was crazy. So, oh my God. But, okay. Okay, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. We will see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe and take care. Bye, guys.